Meanwhile, the Pennsylvania State Senate beginning the process of considering whether to remove Philadelphia's Democratic district attorney. You know, you talk about DAs that are soft on crime.
Yeah.
That may be, if you look up soft on crime in the dictionary, Larry Krasner's picture may be there, and they're trying to remove him from office.
This is coming as members of the Republican-controlled Senate formally received impeachment articles from House impeachment managers. Now, the impeachment is part of a wave of efforts across the country to remove progressive prosecutors over crime-fighting policies, as Bob pointed out, amid a rise in violent crime nationally.
Joining us right now to discuss, former NYPD Commissioner Bernie Kerik. Now, Bernie, we should let people know, as far as the politics are concerned, it may be a challenge to get him removed from office because the Senate, while it's a majority Republican, may not have enough two-thirds to remove him. But talk, if you will, for a minute about how important this kind of movement is.
Well, it's extremely important if you want law and order in Philadelphia, you know, in these same problems we're having in New York City, St. Louis, San Francisco, a number of other cities around the country where you have these radical left-wing DAs, many of them funded by George Soros. And the cops need the support of the district attorney. They need to be, you know, these district attorneys need to be pro-law and order. And Larry Krasner is probably one of the most liberal and one of the most supportive of the thugs versus the cops in his town. He should have been removed a long time ago, back in 2020, when there were problems with a police homicide. You know, this guy should have been gone already. What's taken so long, I don't know. But for the people of Philadelphia and the people of Pennsylvania, it's in their best interest to get rid of him.
Yeah, and Bernie, we saw Chesa Boudin ousted in San Francisco. Of course, Alvin Bragg, lots of people would like to see him go, the DA here in New York City. Do you think that other cities could follow suit from San Francisco and Philadelphia?
Well, I think there's a national push right now. People are sick and tired of crime-ridden cities. Nobody wants to live, visit, work, or go to school in a place where they're not safe. And the key thing that's keeping them not safe are judges, prosecutors, district attorneys that are not enforcing the law, not holding the bad guys accountable, letting them roam the streets. And then governors that's allowing this stuff to go on. In New York, Governor Hochul should have removed Alvin Bragg months ago. You know, the police department, the NYPD has said he's a problem. The mayor has said he's a problem. The governor should have took care of this.
And you know what he's blaming? He's blamed the MAGA movement. He's blaming everybody but himself for what's going on.
Yeah, that's just political nonsense. The bottom line is he has a job to do that he's sworn to do constitutionally, and he's refusing to do it. If he's not going to do the job he was sworn to do, then get rid of him.
Yeah. You mentioned New York City Mayor Eric Adams. He's facing backlash after moving forward with a host of policy changes that crack down on the city's homeless population. Now, just on Tuesday, Adams announced officials will begin hospitalizing more homeless people by involuntarily taking them, institutionalizing them, basically providing care to those deemed to be in psychiatric crisis. But my understanding, especially as a New Yorker, is hasn't this been going on for quite some time? Is this news?
No, it's not news. It is quite interesting for me to watch this unfold for a couple of reasons. One, what nobody realizes is that the people that are going to have to do this really are the men and women in the NYPD. They're going to have to go out and pick these people up off the streets. Under Giuliani, we had a 3 or 4 pronged process to get people off the streets, homeless people off the streets. And if they were really mentally disabled, then we would get them to a hospital or a clinic. In this case, the police, they're going to have to remove them. The mayor has put together this program. Obviously, I don't think he talked much to the police department because they were surprised when it came about. The bottom line is there should be a process to get the homeless people off the streets, but institutionalizing the homeless, institutionalizing people that don't really need it, that's a problem.
Yeah,
And-
it's
and
the
I
don't
think that
really
has to
need
be
it
looked
that's
at.
it. Yeah, because I think there's a rule you can tell me that you can hold somebody for 72 hours, I think, but then they can't hold them beyond that unless there really is a psychological problem.
That's exactly right. And I think, I think this is another one of those things where the mayor, shot off at the hip, said, this is what we're going to do. And he didn't talk to the rest of the city before he put it into plan.
And some feel like it's just a PR move anyway to make it look like he's doing something.
Well, you have to do something to get the homeless off the streets.
Yeah.
I drove by Fifth Avenue the other day. There's an encampment along Fifth Avenue right outside Central Park. I've never, in my whole life, working and living in the city, I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
So it's growing and growing fast, and you got to do something about it.
Yeah.
He thinks this is going to fix that. It's not.
Yeah, and you're talking New York, and this is going on all over the country right now. So
Exactly.
Bernie Kerik, thank you so much, sir.
Thanks, guys.